button up there
There
anyway.
we are.
Oh, there it is.
No, Danny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday night's episodes of Mauls, Balls and all the Breakdown. Tonight we're joined by Matt Boland, Dave Sheedy and of course James Brennan. We'll be covering the 4 games from the weekend. James, I suppose we'll come to you first.
Jesus Christ. Straight in again, no kiss. Would you grab the fucking jar of Vaseline at least, would you, pal? Say hello, buy me a drink, will you?
No, James, we do. I do this like the way Mayo men do see. Straight in, right? No.
Right, go on? Ask the question, Danny. Great to see you, by the way. Looking very well as usual. Love the hair.
You weren't saying that a minute ago.
28, Cardiff 19. James, what are your thoughts on the game?
Say that again, Danny. I was still laughing in my head at what I had just said before Megan joined. Hiya, Megan. Go on, say it again. What's the question, Danny? Go on.
James, as long as you find this funny, that's all that matters. Everyone else is just cringing. Cardiff 28, Cardiff 19. Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, that was a very workmanlike performance. I have to say, hand on heart, that was the best I've seen Bundy playing for Connacht in a long time. He does it for Ireland day in, day out. Does it for Ireland all the time, no problem at all. But he hasn't done it as to that extent, the way he did. Some of the offloads, some of the lines he ran, some of the off the ball stuff that he was doing, it was really fucking Bundy's at his best here, you know. And as a result, I think that the team lifted as well. Now it was a tough enough ask for Cardiff, but a good win. That's top of the table, qualified. Who have we? Yeah,
Cardiff again.
Cardiff again in the next round.
At home.
At home, yeah, which is great. And then it's either Perpignan and Racing 92 if we do manage to get over past Cardiff, it's a big if. But yeah, I enjoyed that game immensely. I was on my second 4-pack of Orchard Thieves by the time the game was over. So I had very little recollection of the end of the game, but I fucking enjoyed it anyway. I know that much for sure.
Dave, your thoughts on the Connacht Cardiff game?
I was driving down to Clare at the time, and it's funny. You could have swore James was commentating for Galway Bay FM because they were saying the exact same thing. All of them unanimously. That's the best game Bundy's played for Connacht in years. You know? But I couldn't actually. I got Galway Bay FM around Nina, and then you kind of go into a dip, and I lost it again. So like I was only getting bits and pieces of it.
Have you Bluetooth on your car radio?
No, I have a fucking Nokia, James. Like, you know, I'm old school. Man, you know, if it
doesn't
dial in,
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that maybe you go on to get it on one of the radio player apps
on the old internet.
Yeah, internet.
No.
Yeah. No, I
You have to wind up every morning, James.
Yeah, the boys in Galway FM were very excited because I was
very excited.
Yeah, I was watching parts of the game and I had to get the rest of it. My daughter had a game against Loughrea at exactly the same time, so we got they were showing it in the clubhouse, thankfully, and then when I wasn't in the clubhouse, I was listening to it. I had an earpiece in while I was watching my daughter scoring tries and converting. As well, she was playing 4 until their 10 got injured, and she had to slot in at 10 then. So she played well though.
I only heard bits and pieces of it, but the result is resounding. I got the full end of it from Galway Bay FM, and then I switched off. So yeah, well done, Connacht. So we're all delighted for them. It's going to be a tough ask, I think, with Perpignan or Racing now, but that's at home, isn't it, James?
Yeah, we got to get over Cardiff first though. Cardiff first. Again.
I think it'll be all right.
Matt, your thoughts on the Connacht Cardiff game?
Yeah, well, like I didn't see the whole game now. I only saw bits and pieces, but what I saw, I was impressed with Connacht, and they fully deserve to win. You know, I think they'll have no problem with Cardiff at home. Obviously, it will be tough for them. But I would fancy them to squeeze past that, and then they're probably going to end up playing maybe Racing 92 then in the quarters. So. But look, I mean, very positive performance for Connacht. If they can keep that momentum going, bring it in, they'll be right up there for a quarterfinal spot anyway. Definitely.
Racing have Perpignan
Yeah.
at home. Like
I'd still fancy Racing.
Yeah, you'd have to have the two of them.
Yeah, but Perpignan at home, man, that's.
Look, I mean, Perpignan are tricky, and there's no easy game in the top 14 when they're all playing each other, you know. And
yeah,
I would fancy Racing.
I was on one of the shows there around the time when we narrowly lost to Leinster, and then we had an embarrassment against Ulster. And the rumours around Galway at the time was that Pete Wilkins had lost the dressing room. But I'm hearing now that there's a new it must have been a bit of a come to Jesus talk in the. Yes, there's Richie. Must be a come to Jesus talk in the dressing room, because it's all systems go for the Challenge Cup now, and there's no mention of it at all of him being persona non grata anymore. So
that's good.
Let's see how that pans out.
I'll just say hello to Megan there, and Richard. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
Hey, Richie.
We're just talking about the Connacht Cardiff game there, Richard. Connacht winning 28-19. Do you have any thoughts on it?
It's a great win for him. I'm delighted for him again. Look, I think the Challenge Cup doesn't get the credit it deserves. It is a great competition, and there's some great teams and great history there. So it's great to see Connacht going great guns on it. Look, I was delighted to see them win, and I was flicking between that and the other game, so it was kind of, yourself, the timing could have been a little bit better there.
Yeah, I even said that to the group as well earlier on in the week. The fact is the second straight week we had Ulster and Connacht taking it at the time.
Yeah. Well, I know there's TV to take into consideration, but it's definitely something that could have been planned a little bit better, to be honest with you.
Yeah. One more thing, James. The question for you there is, Connacht had 4 bonus point wins in the Challenge Cup, but seems to be struggling in the URC. Do you think the teams in the Challenge Cup seem to be more on Connacht's level to the extent, or are some of the teams are sending out kind of, let's say, hit and hope teams?
Well, I think how I put this, I think Connacht are sort of between the Challenge Cup and the Champions Cup in terms of their capability at the moment. On their day, they can beat anyone. They can absolutely put it up to anyone. They were very close to overturning Leinster. If a couple of I won't go down the whole Matt Hansen route, but if there was a couple of decisions had gone differently, let's say, to be subtle about it, if things had gone a little bit differently, we could that could have been a win for Connacht. But then they follow that up then with a performance like that against Ulster at home in the sports ground, which was massively disappointing. As a person who has never ever left the sports ground early, I could understand why some were leaving. The game was well and truly over halfway through the second half, and that was hugely disappointing. And there didn't seem to be any, other than the little Jack Carty dink through for Mac to snipe the ball off out of the hands of 3 Ulster players. There was no other imagination or ingenuity, and I think this isn't the same fucking team that was playing against Leicester. This is a chalk and cheese, and that's the thing that's the most frustrating thing about being a Connacht fan. You all know it's like you've seen me here frustrated some evenings after we've been beaten, and then we come along and then we win every single game with a bonus point in the Challenge Cup so far. And I hope it fucking continues. I really do, because nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see some more silverware coming back to Connacht. in my lifetime, there's been one piece of silverware has come in, the Pro 12 trophy.
It's not
That's
Sam
the-
Maguire either.
That's my line, listeners. That's my line.
That's a low
fucking
blow.
blow now. That's a low blow.
After that All Ireland final, that is a low blow.
That's a shocking low blow. But anyway, if Connacht could sort out their consistency, they're well and truly able to compete in the URC. But right now, they're above Challenge Cup against what they've played so far. Now, when it comes to Racing or Perpignan or whoever else is in maybe one of the South African teams might throw up a challenge. But looking at the bottom half of the other side of the table, there's not a whole lot in it. My finalists for that would be, if they weren't in the same half of the draw, would have been Connacht and Racing, to be honest with you, and going to the final. But look, one of them is going to be out of it in 2 games' time, so we'll have to wait and see.
James, do you think that Connacht will ever shake the underdog tag?
Well, we're not getting the same. We're not getting the same funding, so we'll have a new stadium that'll hold 12,500 people. That's all that we have the support for right now. It's a small province. We have a few and they're not. I won't call them mercenaries, or we'll have Mike fucking Farage really on the fucking case. But we have a few guys who come in and
I'm sure he's watching.
Do the job. But until we have the same shake at the funding, whether it be gate receipts or IRFU funding, we're playing with one arm tied behind our back.
Yeah, but James, do you want to give up the underdog? Connacht always seem to play better when they go into a match as the underdog.
No, I want to see Connacht winning trophies. I want to see Connacht, and I want to see half the Connacht team being pulled every Six Nations and every World Cup cycle because they're the best players in the country, and that's what I want to see. But reality, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, but the year you won the league, there wasn't a dry eye around the country for Connacht, but it's just that I found it funny that you were still classed as underdogs the year after as well. After winning. And you're playing the most attractive attacking rugby of all the 4 provinces.
Yeah, even Mike Reedy said that about Connacht last week.
Yeah.
Don't be attacking rugby, but you do say it right.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm still playing it. But they were the seeds that were sown by Pat Lam back in the day. That what he had, when we won the Pro 12, and I've spoken to Pat Lam. I've been at some talks he's given, and I've spoken to him and chatted. And one of the things that they did, he talks about having the right people on the bus and having the wrong people off the bus, and having the right people in the right seats on the bus, and he talks all about that stuff, and it's all a whole philosophy he has. But one of the things he had was he gave each of the players a rugby ball, and they had to carry it with them 24/7. And had to be handling the ball and holding the ball and be used to the ball and be throwing it up against the wall and just getting used to. So he didn't want any fumbling of the ball. He didn't want anyone missing passes or trying to pick a ball up, from their ankles and stuff like that. And that all paid off that year. And nobody gave Connacht a hope in hell going into the final against Leinster that year. But
not even us.
Yeah,
I know nobody did. And I was there. I remember in the semi-final, I was beside Tim Allnutt's wife. He's one of the senior guys in the Connacht setup. I was standing beside his wife, and the place erupted when we got through to the final. And I remember looking at her and saying, "Jesus Christ, what would it be like if we win the final?" And I didn't even believe it myself. Now I hoped, obviously, that we would, but I said, Jesus Christ. And then we won it, and we had a great party, a fucking mega party.
I can tell you something, like, as a Leinster fan, you absolutely deserve that final, because we're way better than Leinster in every asset of that game, and it was great to see Connacht. Like, it was annoying for me, but I was happy because they fully deserved to win. They
did, and I remember. I don't know if you remember this. The one try that Leinster got was when we had I think it was Tiernan O'Halloran that was down injured, and we were all expecting the ref to stop the game because there was a player down injured, and it went up on the attack went up on his wing. Now, Tiernan was never famous for his defence either. Now, in fairness, so he probably would have scored the try anyway. But that was one thing that stood out for me. Like it was I think it was 2010 the final score.
Yeah.
But it could have been easily 23.
Yeah. Matt, I'll come to you in this one. Ulster 52, Exeter 24. Do you see the game or?
I did. That's the only one I actually didn't see, but I tried to watch the highlights. But like from what I saw in the highlights, yeah. Look, I mean, it was a fair result. Exeter didn't seem to be at the ballpark at all. Seemed to be left in the sheds. But Ulster, fair play. Like it was a great performance for them. So I can only go by the 5-minute fucking highlight I saw. But look, great for Ulster. Great win. Exeter, I would have thought Exeter would have put up a bit of a better fight, to be honest with you, considering they've won it once, And,
4 years ago.
Yeah, and they were thereabouts last year. I think they made it to the quarters easily last year, but anyway, fair play to Ulster. That's it.
Richard, Ulster Exeter game. What did you make of that?
I thought it was a decent enough game. I think the result, the previous week really affected Exeter. They looked completely bereft of confidence. Anything they tried didn't work, and fair play to Ulster. They stuck at it. It was a close enough game, and then eventually they were able to pull out ahead, and they were never going to be stopped. There was a hat-trick. Who got the hat-trick? Chuku, was it?
I think so.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
It's great for him going into a Six Nations.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's in the squad to be able to tap in a performance like that. Absolutely brilliant. Now, I suppose in a way, I would rather have seen Ulster go to the Challenge Cup, given the draw that they're coming out of. It was Bordeaux. That could be a nasty one for him now after the Six Nations.
Yeah, I'm just looking at here now. Also have Bordeaux away.
Yeah,
so that
will
be
as well.
An interesting game, right? Dave, Ulster versus Exeter. Any thoughts on that game?
The only thing I saw was the scoreline when I got back from there on Sunday night. I know nothing about it, and I was absolutely surprised that Ulster put up that amount of points. I can't remember the last time I've seen Ulster put up a score like that. So fair play to
them. James, your thoughts on the Ulster Exeter game?
Before that, I'm just looking at Megan's comment there. Peter was putting up apologies for the lateness of it going on, but Megan has called him out on it. He's lying there dreaming of Finn Russell again. So you're bang on the money there, Megan. He's we've an awful job to keep him focused when he goes off thinking about Finn.
He'll be lucky if that's what he was doing.
He's trying to him as well.
The Ulster Exeter game, obviously that was clashing with two other games I was trying to watch, my daughter's game and the Connacht game. Yeah. Delighted, absolutely delighted for Ulster. They got to win. I was surprised that we all were very negative about Ulster last week, and we're saying that Jesus, they're up against it now, but and going to Exeter then that was going to be a tough one, but fair play. Well done, Ulster. Delighted for them.
Matt, another question for you, and James made a good point about this with Connacht. Do you think, considering Ulster's 3 losses and 1 win in the Champions Cup, that they're a bit like Connacht, that they're not exactly good enough for maybe the Champions Cup at the moment, and are maybe a bit too good for a Challenge Cup? Do you think they're in that kind of area where, I suppose, they're too good for the Challenge Cup, but not maybe overly good enough for the Champions Cup this season?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it probably reflects on their recent performances, all right. But if they were to play, if they had that consistency that they played against Exeter, they'd well be able for the Champions Cup. No bother at all. It's the problem is just their consistency at the moment, because they have great performances, but then they can't back them up or follow them up with another good performance, which is a bit of a shame. Now, look, I know they are going through kind of an injury crisis at the moment. There's loads of players injured and all, so that's going to affect the team anyway. But looking at that Exeter game in particular, you'd swear they didn't have any injuries, because they they went full out, full pelt, didn't let up for 80 minutes, and got a really good win against a good side Exeter. So, but like as you said, like if you're not going to be consistent, you won't be at the higher tiers of a competition like the Champions Cup. So I suppose they're probably kind of borderline between the two, as James was saying against Connacht. But that's probably a fair reflection on it. But I'd like to see. I want all the Irish provinces in the Champions Cup, and who doesn't? Like, it's only good for Ireland anyway.
Yeah.
Richard,
you're probably banging.
yeah, but Richard, do you think that if Ulster went down to the Challenge Cup, do you think that would have suited them better this season if they did?
I think it would, simply because of who they're facing. It's Bordeaux, and that could be an absolute hockey-in for Ulster. That could be, and potentially completely derail their season if they get absolutely hammered. The heads are going to drop, and it takes a lot to come back from that. That's the one worry that I'd have in there.
Yeah. Dave, do you think Ulster are in between the Connacht and Challenge Cup or Champions and Challenge Cup place at the moment?
I think if you swapped Ulster with Connacht, you'd have a fair reflection of how the four provinces are doing now. Because now, just in position, but I think Ulster will be slightly miffed at the draw, and how many times can we remember back in the old system did we get the same matches again after the pool stages? To get lumped with Bordeaux, it's awful for them, and they were probably hoping to get into the Challenge Cup and be able to compete better. But they know they're going to get hockey. Only a miracle from God is going to get them out of that match. Let's be honest, because Bordeaux are shit hot. Bordeaux are contenders for this competition now.
Yeah, they are.
Massive contenders. When you look at the draw on either side, like Leinster have a nice little run through, and then it's La Rochelle, Bordeaux, and Toulouse all on the other side. Like, that is huge, man.
Yeah, the only way it could be worse for Ulster is if they were playing Toulouse. They put, was it 80 points to 12 there at the weekend, was it?
Yeah. Which is scary. James, what do you think there about Ulster? Do you think they're like Connacht, where they're kind of not exactly either? They're in that weird spot.
Before the Ulster game, I remember I was on. We had just narrowly defeated by Leinster in that game, and I was pretty pleased with the way Connacht had played and all that. And I was saying, do you know what, we have and Munster weren't going great that week either, or the week before up to that point. And we're saying we have Leinster first, Connacht 2, Munster third, and Ulster fourth, and then Ulster shit all over us in the sports ground. Again, you don't know what you're getting with Ulster now at the moment either. The Connacht and Ulster are two very similar in their results at the minute. But look, I really, it's thoughts and prayers now for Ulster going into that match next weekend.
Yeah, but do you think Challenge Cup will suit Ulster?
Oh, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what the Ulster fans were hoping for as well themselves. That to get a chance to maybe to drop down, regroup, get through some of their academy players, get some of those guys up, get them blooded, and get them in a position to get back into the ORC then the following season. So.
A point here by Joe Lyons. Last year, Bordeaux were beating teams for fun. They played Harlequins in the quarter at home and lost. Anything can happen in knockout rugby. Ulster have players back and have a shot at nothing. Wouldn't be writing them off so fast.
Hope you're right, Joe.
It's the term my grandfather used to use. There's always a puncher's hope.
There's always a hope. After the Six Nations, if Bordeaux get a few injuries, if I was an Ulster man, I'd be praying, and an Irishman, I suppose, I'd be praying for Damien Penno to get injured, because that fella's just electric, man.
Yeah, Penno with 6 tries a weekend.
6 tries, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but The bollocks
thought maybe-
he wouldn't take a selfie with my son when they were in the sports room the last time. The bollocks. And he spoke French too.
Are you serious? So he's a bollocks as well as a.
Yeah,
as a
he
good
wouldn't.
player.
He walked past us, and I said, I even asked him in French, would he take a picture with my young fella? And he said, oh, I'll be back or whatever. And he never came out again. So I thought, you bastard,
Yeah.
No, I saw Megan's comment there saying that she'd like the candle transfer if that was the case, considering her board of work playing anyway.
Yeah.
Peter, I might come back to that point later on if we have time after we go through the other two games. But Richard, I'll start off with you on this one. Northampton 34, Munster 32. Did you see the game?
Oh, I did, and I was pulling my fucking hair out the whole way through it, pretty much. I think Ty Byrne actually summed it up best. He says, when we're good, we're really, really good, but when we're bad, we're absolutely terrible. He said that after the game. There was certain aspects of the game were brilliant. You know, like the Calvin Nash try, the vision, to be fair, from Conor Murray to put the head up and go, well, hang on, they're wingers at the bottom of this ruck. I'm going to put the laces through this and let Nash off. And in fairness,
some finish.
The opposition scrum half, he copped it at the last minute. You could just see the look of terror in his eyes.
It was too late at that stage.
Skinned him. Nash was after skinning him at that stage. You could just look at him and he went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now, the hooker was the other one, so we can forgive him.
Yeah.
Look, we had our chances to win it. It was unfortunate. It was a great game. It's probably the game. For me, it's probably the Irish game of the round of that round anyway. What can you say? Murray rolled back the years. Ty Byrne was brilliant. Jack Crowley, I was reading somewhere that he had 8 tackles and a turnover for a 10. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's high. Now, can I ask you something, Richard? Do you remember what the Gavin Coombs yellow card was for?
It was a high tackle, and he had warned them that the next infringement that he would be going to the pocket. He had said it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Dave, Northampton versus Munster. Did you see the game or?
Before I go fucking mental about that bloody game, I first want to give a plug to the 19th bar in Lahinch because they were the only fuckers in the whole of North Clare showing that game.
Good on them.
Yeah, and one thing I think we forget, the owner actually told me for him to show games like the rugby or the football or whatever, it costs him $1,800 a month because it's linked to his license. So we forget about that. So if you go to a pub to watch a game, buy a couple of beers, give the lad some money. Now,
you'll probably put €1,800 behind the bar that day yourself. Anyway.
I did. My 2 pints of Guinness, a pack of crisps, and I was out the door crying after. Look, I've been saying this for a long time. I have nothing personal against the guy, but Mike Haley is not up to it, lads. I'm sorry. Like Kilgallen came in, blitzing with pace, Nash with pace, and then you put a slow fella at 15 who was the cause of the first try. He was the cause of the third try, and most definitely the cause of the last try for Northampton. Your man just walked around him, like, you know. Fair enough.
The first try, his position was terrible.
That was Calvin Nash's tackle, is my point. And Haley just came in and hit him, leaving a guy outside. Nash was lining him up, and Haley took it off him. You know, and then it's just an easy pass and then straight in. I can't remember. I was only watching it there before we came on. I can't remember what the third try was. But the last try, you'd argue that the pack should have fanned out more. Dennis Leamy should be fucking seeding. But, like, to have a lad walk around you and you're supposed to be a top-level fullback, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like, I mean, I'm still pissed off because Northampton won in Thomond Park. That will never leave me now. You know, like, Munster should have finished that job. They all, look, you can't fault them for effort. They all played very well. And you can say that is the one game where you'd look at and you go, right, maybe injuries did cost us because of Nankerville. Nankerville and Rory Scannell are night and day. I mean, Rory Scannell tries, but he's not good enough for that level. He got blown out of it left, right, and centre. But the rest of the team tried their. I mean, missing Hognet as well is massive because you'd say Paddy Patterson got a chance there at the end to score, If it was Hognett that had it, that's a try all day long. Paddy was pulled down just short of the line. God bless him. But we should have won that game. And like, I'm absolutely furious we didn't win that game. Absolutely furious. Jack Crowley played brilliantly. You can't fault the lads for effort, but again, it's the handling errors. The scramble defense is good, but the initial defense is not good because we were falling off tackles. Like, I mean, the first contact of the game, Peter O'Mahony falls off the tackle.
Yeah.
It just didn't even just kind of bump and we better go after him. I didn't think O'Mahony had a really good game at all. It's just it's so annoying. But like, I mean, it's stitched up now. One of the games now in the round 16 that will probably go down in history in Munster and La Rochelle. And I reckon there'll be more Munster supporters at that game than there was at Saracens game last week. It's going to be fucking amazing. I'm going to travel over myself if I have a ticket or not. I don't care. I'm going over for the crack. It's going to be brilliant, man. That's going to be a real rugby weekend. Wine, rugby.
Right in there with a spare pair of jocks kind of a thing, is it?
I'll fucking swim if I have to. I'll get to that game, man.
Before I come to you, James, Joe Lyons in again. No disrespect to your teams in Bordeaux and Stephen's Pool. They haven't exactly tested or had continued competitive games. Heck, Sharks didn't send teams up as for either. Tigers sent over half a team. I'd be waiting till the knockout games to see where Bordeaux and Toulouse are. Remember, beating teams for fun in pool games is one thing. The tough games come in the knockout phase, and we'll soon know where they are.
True.
True, yeah. Patrick
fair
Stewart,
point,
then say that with your tongue out of your cheek. In fairness, we run them closer than anyone else. Yes, I suppose he is right. And Patrick Stewart asking Megan DeGusta, Ulster or the Big Nick. I suppose she's like the candidate for. James, your thoughts on the Northampton Munster game?
I enjoyed that game. It was, as Richard said, it was the game of the weekend, a fucking cracking game, and I thought Munster were brilliant, and I thought they're going to grind out this win as Munster do in Thomond Park. So I was full sure right up to the last minute that they'll nick it in the end. They'll fucking get it. I thought Jack Crowley was very, very good. Yeah. Kilgallen and Farrell, excellent. Yeah, O'Mahony, not his finest hour, absolutely not his finest hour. But for Munster to go down in Thomond Park, that's going to stick in the craw for a long, long time. With the Munster faithful and the Red Army, that's going to be a sore one to take for a long time. They were so close, and on any other day you'd put your house on it that Munster will grind out the win here and they'll just nick it at the death.
It was in Northampton.
Sorry, in Northampton. Yeah, sorry, but you'd be sure that Munster would nick it there. There'd be a drop goal, or there'd be some that fucking get some way to win a match like that, because they're going to grind out games. But great game. As a neutral, I really enjoyed it.
Matt, did you see the Northampton Munster game at all?
I did, yeah. I watched it all, and as James said, it was a great watch. You know, as an outsider looking in, that was an absolute, like, if you were new to rugby and that was your first game to watch, you'd watch every fucking game, because it was just textbook. It was just fucking end to end stuff. Two teams going fucking hell for leather at it. You know, the turning point for me in that game was the fucking Northampton try on 41.5 minutes in the first half, and that just swung the momentum their way, and Munster were then they were leading like 10 points or 12 points or something, and you know it kind of got Northampton back in to the mood, and they got their noses in front, and then they just stuck it out. But in terms of Munster, they played well. Some outstanding performances from some of the lads. Like Jack Crowley had a great game, and I think he's really put himself in a position to be within a shout of starting that fucking them games in the Six Nations, because on based on that performance, because he fucking nailed it, you know, and he was everywhere.
What games do you think he'll be given in that match?
I reckon he's gonna. I reckon he's gonna get the England game, and depending on how he performs in that, then we'll see what happens. But just get back to the Munster game. Like, Nash had a fucking whopper of a game, and that fucking try was just was one like as footballers would say, it was a worldie. That was a fucking worldie try. You know, he had no business in there, but he pinned his ears back and just said, fuck it, I'm going to go and see what happens. And he got the rewards. And you could see Mitchell tracking back, and he was even looking the fucking wrong way. And then all of a sudden, he just saw this fucking red blur in the corner of his eye, and it was too late at that stage, you know. And to be fair to Nash, like, he finished it well as well, because
he did.
You know, like, when Mitchell copped him, he pulled up a gear, went down, and fucking had him by the scruff of the fucking neck, but he still got it down. And you could see by him, like, but even Nash's second try was fucking class. Like, you know, it was a good phase play by Munster into 22 and popped it out to Nash, and he was just ears back again, fucking pinned back, and away he went. And, you know, Munster they were very good. I think they were very unlucky not to win. I really thought they were going to win this game. You know, Northampton haven't been the best they have been in many years. When they came over to play in Croke Park last year against Leinster, like, they were rubbish, I thought, you know, and they said they were going to come all guns blazing, and they just didn't turn up that day. But, you know, I really feel bad for Munster, because they had the winnings of that game. They really did, you know. And you look at that one fucking conversion that Crowley missed, you know.
I was just gonna bring that up when he missed that. I was thinking, fuck.
If he had got that in the game, you know, I reckon they would have gone on to win it, because that just kind of dulled their kind of comeback, and the momentum would have switched to them if they had got that, because that was another key point of the game. But, like, overall, like, if I was a Munster fan, I wouldn't be really disappointed. The only thing I'd be disappointed in is just the non-awareness that Halley had for the three tries. Like, even that last Seabrook try, he was completely out of position. You know, as a fullback, he was nearly in the centre of the park.
Yeah, I'm blue in the face saying it about Haley. I don't hear any pundit. I don't hear anyone else saying it. I think I'm the only one that's saying that the kid is constantly out of position. If you compare him to Keenan, Keenan's in the right place every fucking time.
Absolutely, and it was blatantly obvious for several occasions where you were looking at him going, "What the fuck are you doing there?" And then all of a sudden, you're just like, "Fucker, okay, there's a try."
And when you think about it, like, our two wingers got the tries. Kilgallen got two, and Nash got two. And like, if you any pace of fullback.
Kilgallen had a great game as well.
Fucking fantastic game. He's tough as nails.
Danny, before you move on, I just, on Peter's behalf, I know if he was on here with us, he'd be singing the praises of Zebo and his commentary on the match. It was outstanding. I know he'd found it very remiss of us not to comment on his behalf there. So
that's all.
Matt, I'll come to you on this one. Let's all be kind to Finn Russell on this one, because we all know Peter's watching in the background.
Yeah.
Leinster 47, Bath 21. Matt, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, for the first 20 minutes of that match, I was so fucking frustrated with Leinster. I really was. Like, they weren't at the races at all, and I was thinking to myself, like, are they actually going to turn it on here, or what's the crack, like, you know? Yeah. But thankfully, they fucking woke up and finally got their act together. But, you know, they need to, like, if they're going to be in the later stages of this competition, playing tougher opposition, they need to start and play 80 minutes. You know, if they don't, like, if they're playing Toulouse in the final again and they don't play for the first 20 minutes, they're going to be down 20 or 30 points. Like, you know, like, Toulouse are absolutely on fire. They're going to beat. Look, you look at it again. Like, I mean, 47 points to 21. Bath didn't score in the second half. I think they were pretty much rubbish in the second half.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, like Finn Russell didn't have a great game. There was a lot of the back players didn't have a great game.
Jesus, Peter will be upset with you.
Yeah.
Finn Russell. But like, I think there was a couple of odd decisions for me in that game, and the main one for me was the red card, because there was no warning to that. Okay, right. So the first incident, right, I think the referees nailed it spot on, because Gibson Park had the ball, although his head didn't move, his body did, right? And he made it look like he was faking the player. So to me, that's mitigation straight away, because you're changing your position. The guy was upright 100%, and there was definitely face contact. You could see him, and poor Gibson's Park. To be honest, I thought it was a fucking broken cheek and he'd be out for the Six Nations. But anyway, that lad is a big fucking lad, right? And his second yellow card, albeit, right, he was given out about the scrum, and they were resetting scrums left, right, and centre, and he had to talk to the front rows on multiple occasions. But you could clearly see there was no sort of warning or anything before that yellow card. I think he should have at least got a warning to go, right, that's it now, right? Next one, it's going to be a yellow card. And I actually felt a bit bad for him, but did that change the way Leinster were on top at that stage? It wasn't going to change the outcome of the game if he had stayed on. You know, Leinster were winning that game at that point. But yeah, look, good performance. What we wanted. A win is a win, you know. It wasn't in the first half. It was grand in the second half, you know. So, yeah.
And Richard, your thoughts on the Leinster back game?
Yeah, it just what Matt said. It was a fairly dour first half, but it's the first time really this year that we've seen Ulster or Leinster attack in the second half. Their attack was really flowing in the second half. The red card, I suppose, it's just one of these little weird rules of the game or something, or whatever way you want to put it. To be honest, if the referee had taken the two front rows to one side before or after, or just before a reset, and says, "Look, lads, the next time someone goes," and that probably would have saved it. Yeah, you probably would have. Yeah, it would have hopefully steadied it up a small bit. But look, I feel for the chap, I do. But it is what it is. I don't think it was ever going to change the outcome of the game, whether he stayed on or stayed off. Now, I did see arguments that he should have gone for the hit on Gibson Park, but no, I think the referee was right to stick with yellow. Now Gibson Park is a fair shiner on him after that, I'd imagine. And as Matt said, I thought the eye socket or the cheekbone was gone, and then you were without Gibson Park for the Six Nations.
Yeah. Dave, your thoughts on the Leinster back game?
I walked into Vaughan's in Kilfenora, another plug for a nice place, to get my food, because I had to get over.
Are you getting paid?
I might send them a link to this. Next roast dinners on ye,
Wild Atlantic Way tips by Dave Sheedy,
Exactly. All the way from Loop Head to Ballyvaughan. And then James, you can take over.
Yeah.
Look, I came in about 20 minutes, and then
you came in at the right time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You know, it was about 20-minute mark, and you're looking at.
You're looking at giggity from Peter Burke there now.
You're looking at like Crawley in the Munster game, and then straight into kind of Sam, because I mean the 210s are the biggest talking point in rugby at the minute. And if you're to pick the Irish team tomorrow, you'd have to start Crowley. Not that Sam played bad, he didn't, but his posture and his inexperience kind of shows. But I think Geordie Barrett has changed that Leinster team unbelievably. I mean, that lad is. I heard Henshaw got man of the match. Like, how did Geordie Barrett not get it? That fella is unbelievable. The stuff he's doing. I've never seen anything like it. And as I said, I think I said this before. When he was with the All Blacks, you're just thinking, Geordie Barrett, he's like the shit Barrett. Bodie's the good one. He is phenomenal, man. He's changed that Leinster team unbelievable. I'm just like my roast beef came out, and I was more interested in that than the rest of the Leinster game, I'll be honest. But I'm delighted that Finn Russell got his ass handed to him, and even more delighted that Van Gran got an absolute fucking pacing as well, because he's full of shit. So thank you very much, Leinster. You did me a favour.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point anyway about Van Grant, but Peter won't like you speaking badly of Finn Russell. You know that.
I'm with Peter 100%. I mean, different when the camera zooms in on Phil, you're like, right, the cog is turning, but there's nothing on it. It's a spacer, man. He's full of crap. He pulls off things of brilliance, and because of like one or two good things of brilliance, people forget all the crap shit he tries. Like Quay Cooper.
But he Finn Russell is one of those players that if you get to him, that's it. He can't play like. So, and that's what Ireland do to him. Well, I hope they do it again, but like that's what Ireland tend to do when they're playing Scotland. They get to him, don't let him control the game, and then he's not even in.
But Matty, that's what Munster used to do to Contepomi, and he folded every fucking time. And I'm not coming into like to give an anti-Leinster sentiment, but like Finn Russell, you get up in his face, like you said, he'll fold every time. He'll fold like a paper bag.
Yeah. Just come straight down his channel every time.
I cut across you there, Richie.
No, just with Finn Russell, if you go down his channel, as you were saying, he doesn't know what to do. And a lot of times with Finn Russell as well, his own fucking teammates don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Me and Matty played with a 10 like that. He'd make a call and he'd go off and do something else. It drove me fucking up.
80 years like that. James, your thoughts on the Leinster back game?
So I was watching this game with my son. He was on the couch and I was on the chair, and I at one point I nodded off, and I woke up and Leinster were 2 scores down, and I looked over at Donald and he said, "Dad, you're not the only one that fell asleep." Fucking Leinster had fallen asleep for a period during the game, and thankfully they woke up. But what about that try from RG Tampon? Fucking hell, the arms on that fella! Christ above!
I swear to God, if he got tackled at the halfway line, if he stretched out,
still fucking get over. Yeah,
100%, 100%.
He wasn't even a full stretch, to be fair.
El Judas is playing well, isn't he?
He is.
He is.
They have to change his name. Like he was RG Tampon in fucking Limerick because he was in for a week and out for 3. But he hasn't been injured since he's fucking Leinster.
Yeah. He's now Judas Iscariot. He's now Judas Iscariot in Limerick.
Yeah, maybe it was the color red that just to get him.
Probably, yeah.
Stop it.
I tell you, when you say that in the group, it seems to upset a few people. Like, I mean, Danny will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's all that comes around between Johnny, all right, yeah. But
it's club rugby, lads. You know, it happens.
Yeah, I know this can be a bit of banter, right? But rules are rules, I suppose. You have to keep everything in line. I'm going to ask each of you lads here, Joe, just a quick thing on this. Let's start with you, Matt. The round of 16 and group stage at the moment. Is there a pile of bollocks now compared to before? He can get through so easy to the next round? Or it should be a case of 6 groups of 4 straight into the last 8 and then 4.
I think the previous structure was better.
Yeah, the original structure, I suppose.
Just because there was only 4 teams in the groups, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So and the top 2 qualified and the bottom 2 didn't, and that was it. And I think that was. Look, I prefer it that way. But I mean, who am I to say for them to make a change again?
You're a fan, Matt. You're entitled to it. Tell them.
I prefer the old system, the way they did it in the old ways. But I mean, yeah, as Peter says, bring back the last format. This one is shite, and it is. Yeah. It is
because the last system was your 5 group winners and your 3 best runners up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because then it gives you kind of your runner up. Like if you were the best of the losers, say that you were in 3rd position, but you were best with a good point score and you still got through. Yep. Whereas now it's just a lot of shit. It is.
Because
is a lot.
look
I
at this
do
one.
agree with Peter on this one.
Yeah, because like if you look at lads, I give you some perspective on this. A team could lose all 4 games, collect 2 bonus points in every game, and still qualify for the last 16.
Yeah,
Bullshit. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't
which
make
is
any. Yeah, it doesn't make
plus,
sense to me at all.
yeah, plus teams can send out Joe, let's say your B team or Joe maybe who is sprinkling some of the best players in certain games here and there. They can pick and choose which games they want to play well in and which games they want to sacrifice, so to speak, if they choose it that way.
The team
So
should be
Richard,
throwing out a B team.
yeah.
End of story.
So Richard,
How often have we seen? Actually, a couple of times this year, some of the English teams sent over what was basically a youth team over. You know,
It shouldn't be
it doesn't
allowed.
be-
Like,
no, it shouldn't be.
if the players are there and available, they should be picked.
On top of all that, what you paying €80 or €90 for a ticket
Yeah.
for that? You know.
but Richard, there should definitely be a reason for them to go back to the old system where you have to win games and don't qualify.
And I'll be honest with you, I miss the home and away thing as well. That was a big thing because there was always a little way of getting back a little bit of revenge or whatever way you want to put it, and writing it the following week or 2 weeks after. You know, I do miss the old format. I don't know why
It was always a 7-day turnaround.
Yeah.
Then away and home games, and it was always a 7-day turnaround. It was great.
Yeah.
But I think part of the reason for change was, like I said, maybe English and French teams wanted to be easier to qualify by using less experienced teams. So they didn't have to try as hard.
It was almost certainly done to suit the French, or probably the French, just to.
Yeah.
Now the South Africans this year they've brought nothing to it. I don't think they had any. I honestly don't think they had any interest in it. To be quite honest with you, any of the South African teams.
No, it didn't look like it anyway.
No.
Yeah, because funny enough, from what I'm seeing, there is no South African team in the last 16 of the Champions Cup. There's no there. No, I think there is. There is because it's the Emirate Lions, the Sharks, and the Bulls in the Challenge Cup, all right, and that's it.
Yeah, but Danny, don't forget 4 World Cups.
Oh yeah, 4 World Cups. Yeah, Matt Damon, great captain, Matt Damon. Dave, do you think that the current system has actually devalued the Champions and Challenge Cup compared to the previous system?
We all love the old system because that's what we were given first and foremost. I mean, I got 3 home games in Thomond Park. Now I only get 2. You know, and I pay the same money apparently. But it's what Richard said. The round when they introduced the round of 16, and what was really good about it was the home and away. You had them at home and then you played them away, and then they've scrapped that now and they've had the round of 16. Now it's only 1 game away. It's the home and away is crucial to this competition. Absolutely crucial, because it is that. All right, you got us this week. We'll get you next year if we're playing it in the pool or in 7 days, whenever it is you're playing them. You know, the chance for revenge. That's Jesus. That's really what rugby's all about. Like, if you lose one, you gotta have an opportunity for revenge. That's what has me so fucking upset with the Munster performance at the weekends, because we didn't get revenge, and we'd every chance to. It's like the history of this competition is built on that, and that's what we all love about it. Is the home and away. I mean, you can tinker with the groups all you want, but we need home and away games back. You know, it's just because then it's the fans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you know you're Munster playing Northampton, you know, like, I mean, there was a good portion of Munster fans went to Northampton for that game, but like, you'd know that more in advance. And you book it, this, that, and the other, and then, you know, you make friends with people. It's all about the camaraderie in rugby, like, you know. It's much better.
I live quite close to Rosslare, and when Munster were at their pomp now, it would have been 2008, 2007, 2006. There used to be queues of cars heading to Rosslare over to France and over to the UK. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're able to tee it up like better. We all look. I'll just finish. We all prefer the old system. I think they need to, if they're not going to implement the 5 groups of 4, 6 groups of 4, whatever, we need home and away fixtures to make it better. We need home and away fixtures.
James, your thoughts of the current group system versus the old group system?
Yeah, I agree with the lads. Mainly because we grew up with the old system and we knew how we were getting, and this is changed now, and it's not a good change. I think go back to the old system, or maybe do something like give more points for a win, so that you don't end up getting teams sending a B squad over or something like that. That there's more points for an away win. Maybe there's something like that you could. But yeah, look, we know the old system works, so why are we even trying to invent a new one? Just go fucking back to the old one.
Yeah. So
I forgot to mention with the old system as well. Like, if you lost one game, you were shitting it that you mightn't qualify. Like,
Yes, that was a very good.
And now you can lose all the games, as Danny said, and still fucking qualify.
Yeah, there was more jeopardy involved.
Yeah, much more jeopardy.
I make ask this question to all of you quite quickly. Start with you, James. Considering the old system you're guaranteed at least 3 home games, right? The current system means you're guaranteed 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it'd be wise to go back to the old system for a financial sense for our clubs to make the extra gate receipts? James?
Well, as a season ticket holder, fuck it, I'm all for it. Give me an extra game all day long and twice on Sunday. I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Dave, do you think it'd be smarter for clubs?
Same as James. It's another what used to be full houses at Thomond Park opportunity, and I'm a season ticket holder, so I'd happily pay for another game.
Yeah,
Richard.
Although I shouldn't, but
that's an argument for the wife on a different day.
That's an argument for Ian Flanagan. Anyway,
100%. I'd like to see it back to the way it was, the home and away games, and as you said, it's an extra game. It's
an extra guaranteed game.
It's extra revenue, even if it does sell out, it's extra revenue coming in.
Yeah, because like Matt, your opinion on it's been financially better for clubs.
Yeah, look, I mean, what season ticket holder wouldn't want to go to an extra game? And the fact, as David has pointed out, like you're still paying the same price, but you're losing out on one game. So, and as Richie and everybody have said as well, like it's more income, it's more revenue for the club. Like the more games that are at home, the more fans that can go to these games, the more money they're going to make, whether it's at the tourist styles or in the bars or wherever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come here. I have a quick question, lads. Now we have three Munster fans on here tonight, haven't we?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Are any of you going to the test in the West? Going to the?
Do you know what? I was just going to ask you. Can you get any tickets for that? Like, can you? I'd happily go to it if we could get my hands on 2 tickets. I'd happily go to it. I'd love to, man.
Asking for a friend, is it?
I'll keep my ears open. There may be 1 or 2 that are season ticket holders that are not going that might be able to. Sometimes there's a couple of guys send me tickets. Say, look, I can't make the game. Do you want to bring anyone? So yeah, I keep my ears open.
The only problem is you're giving those kind of tickets to Munster fans. Like when I gave a Munster ticket to El Boland up there.
But you know what? I think there's going to be a huge amount of Munster supporters at that game. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
cracker of a game, yeah. But like, to be honest, I think there's better off being. It sold out quick enough, didn't it, James?
It did, yeah. It sold out. Now, as the season ticket holders, we had a 3-day window for buying extra tickets as well. So and then when it went on general sale, then I think within a couple of hours it was sold out.
Yeah, which is great news to hear.
It's a hell of a drive for people from Cork, and I think just on the Saracens game there last weekend when they were talking about the attendance, I was as pissed off as anyone. But to get from West, like the Cork games always sell out for Munster, but to get from West Cork with that road up to Limerick, like I can get to Limerick quicker than Dublin than someone from West Cork can get to Limerick.
It's the same for Manuel from Sligo coming down to the Connacht match, or from Ackle Island, or from Carrick and Shannon trying to get to Galway for comic matches. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's an awful fucking journey. Like to get to say Dromahare or Carrick or somewhere like that, you're talking about a 2.5 hour drive nearly.
Like
Yeah,
if you're
that's
up around Mullaghmore, Easky, and Sligo, it'll take you an eternity to get down.
Yeah, and if you were over in Mulranny or somewhere like that to get to Galway, it's a fucking long trip and a long trip home as well.
Yeah, so you'd want a fairly handy time. Speaking of time, lads, we're over the hour. So I suppose I would say good night, Matt, Richard, Dave, James. It's been a pleasure. Until the next time you're on, we'll see you then. Of course, we'll be on again next week with URC games. And maybe it'll be URC or Six Nations prep anyway. So lads, I would say good night.
God bless.
Adieu.
Good night, lads.
Night, lads.
See you later.